Hi, I'm Natalie with Eminence Organic Skincare and welcome to In the Mix, and today is Mixology. Super excited. As you know, it's like one of my favorite things to do. I'm like mixologing all the time, at home, all the time. It's crazy. So today is really about Milia. So what the heck is Milia? Okay, so I think what's really important for us to talk about is being able to distinguish the difference between what a Milia is and what a comedone is. You're probably like, that's like fancy words, Natalie. Can you make it easier? Firstly, it's really important to be able to identify the difference between the two of them. So a blackhead or a comedone, as you can imagine, is going to be the congestion that you see that will have actually a dark color to it. And all that means is that there's no like skin covering up the top of the pore, so you have the pore, and then inside is all the gunk, and it's turned dark. And the reason why it's turned dark is called oxidation. So no different than like, you know, when you cut an apple in half and you let it sit on the counter, it's gonna like turn brown and discolored. That's like from oxygen hitting the apple and it discolors it. Same thing that when you have a banana sitting on your counter, it starts to change color. So that's what's happening. So it's called oxidation or oxidizing the skin. So that's why you end up with the comedone or the blackhead. And they're actually pretty easy to remove because there's nothing blocking it. So an esthetician is really good getting in and just slipping it out. Please go see your estheticians to have these removed. Okay, stop picking. But Milia is different. Milia doesn't have a dark color to it. It's because the skin is still covering up the pore. So what's happening is that you have all of the congestion sitting underneath, but then the skin is over the top, so we're not seeing a discoloration because no oxygen is hitting it, but we can end up with this little bump underneath, and you're thinking, well, I can't get at it because even if I know you're doing this, is you're squeezing and nothing is happening, and then you end up with this crazy red mark on your face, and then it's lasting a lot longer. I know it's happened. It's happened to me. We've all been there. So our lesson today is use appropriate skincare in your home care routine so that you can minimize this from happening, and you can also work on the process of reducing it altogether and helping your esthetician out a little bit as well. So my first suggestion is what we want to do is we're looking at the barrier, right? So as I mentioned, the skin is sitting over the pore. So we need to help loosen that up so that then the congestion can move out of the skin. So one of the easiest ways to do this is to exfoliate. So part of the mixology today is you always want to start with the first step, which is to do a nice deep cleansing of the skin. So you can choose an exfoliating cleanser if you wish. Maybe like our red currant or our citrus gel wash. They both have exfoliation properties to it, and some of you also may be familiar with our blueberry soy cleanser, which is an exfoliating cleanser, but it's creamy, so we have a little bit of texture options for you. Second is you want to go into a more, probably a deeper type of exfoliation treatment, and I love to use ingredients that work very effectively are things like salicylic acid and glycolic acid. So glycolic is like it's from sugars, so it's excellent for that, and then salicylics can come from willow bark. So nature does provide really great ingredients that are very effective. So with that said, we have your next step is to do a little bit more of an advanced exfoliation to your skin to really minimize that appearance. Plus, it'll also help shrink your pores, so there's nothing wrong with that either. I've got two choices for you. We have our, here we go, we have our Firm Skin exfoliating peel. Love this one. So if you're looking a little bit more of the anti-aging as well, so minimizing fine lines and wrinkles, this is a fabulous choice. And then my second one, of course, if you tend to be a little bit more on the blemish prone type of skin or more oilier skin types, then I would go with the clear. I picked these ones mainly because they're just easy. They're very easy to use. They're very fast and you don't have any downtime with them. So I highly recommend using the exfoliating peels. Now for the mix. So as we know, we cleanse our skin. We'd like to do a little bit of exfoliation, and then the next step in your home care routine, which you can do up to 3 times a week if you like, is you want to do your masking step. So for me, I love to really get that deep cleansing a little bit further, but I want to also make sure that my skin has a nice appearance of plump and moisture and hydration, and minimizing my fine lines and wrinkles. So I love to have a little bit of companions as well as treating what I'm looking to take care of. So today is about pore minimizing as well to help with that Milia congestion in your skin. So one of my first go-tos is always our raspberry pore refining mask. So it's nice because it's all in the name. Look at that bright color. And I swear right now, and I'm sure my producer's right here in the, he can smell it too. It just smells like jam. It's beautiful. But raspberries are lots of little seeds in a raspberry. And a really nice indicator with fruits that you might see have lots of seeds also means that there's lots of antioxidants. So whole fruits like raspberries and blackberries and blueberries are really great for that. So that's where we want to focus on. Plus you get from berries is like astringent. So it's got this kind of like, you know, when you have like sour berries, it's the same thing. So I always like to visualize if I'm eating a berry and I get that feeling, that's what I feel like my pores are going at the same time. So it's a way to remember that berries are good for your inside, but they're also good for on top of the skin. Second, I'm sure none of you are going to be shocked because I love to spice things up. And my favorite one, especially when it comes to working with milia or congestion in the skin, is the lime stimulating mask. We have a really lot of heat in this one. It uses an ingredient of paprika, which is why the skin's going to get nice and pink. So please remember that if you're using the lime stimulating mask, is that the skin will flush. You will still feel some deep warming to the skin, but it goes away. It'll reduce within the 1 hour of application. And I also just wanted to point out, since the raspberry pore refining mask is kind of red and pink, and your skin's going to be kind of red and pink, don't worry, most of the time it looks a little bit more intense because your skin has already got a bit of that red and pink tint to it. But once you take it all off, it won't be like that anymore. But aromatically, amazing. So how do we work with them together? Up to you, okay? So you can do, let's maybe start with the raspberry pore refining mask first. And you don't need a lot. I usually just use about half of our spatula, and just for sake so you can see what I'm doing. So I put it here. Now I love to add, well now I gotta be honest, using the stimulant second, and the reason why is that you can decide how spicy you want your product. So you can do a 1:1 ratio, so 1 part lime, 1 part raspberry, or you can just add a little bit of the heat to the skin just to get things going. So in this case, I could do something more like that. So this could be like a 2:1 or a 3:1, especially if you're new to using spicy products. Once you get them together, you want to mix. So we get them nice and blended. All of our jam jelly texture masks do really well if you add a little bit of water. So I have a little bit of a bowl of water here. And you see I'm not overwhelming my hand. I just have a little bit in my fingertips. And you can see that it's spreading and it's moving very nicely. So what do I do with this afterwards is I let it stay on the skin for about 10 minutes. Once it's dried on the skin, then you can remove with a warm towel or rinse gently at the sink. I've mentioned in the past really great effective ways to look at masks. If you're oily or combination, let the mask dry completely. This will be excellent for your skin so it won't look so dewy or shiny afterwards. If you are a dry or normal skin type, ensure that you're keeping the masks wet. So you want to maybe more frequently, just make sure before it dries all the way, add a little bit more water to it and massage it in. This will keep that dewy and more hydrated effect to your skin that you might be looking for. So just so that you know, just because you're oily or combination or dry or normal, doesn't mean that you can't use this any way you like. So those are just some great little tips. All of these things I've shared today, using an exfoliating type of cleanser, doing the extra leap of an extra exfoliation treatment, making sure that you're getting a good mask and the nutrients needed in the skin will all be incredibly effective to minimize the milia that you see in your skin. And don't forget to take a visit with your esthetician if it's a little bit more than you can handle at home. So thank you so much. I'm Natalie with Eminence Organic Skincare for another In the Mix Mixology today. And I really look forward to seeing you next time. So if you'd like to see more of me, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget, for more notifications, to hit that little bell that you see down on your screen. And I can't wait to see you next time. Have a great one.